Hey guys, Tin Man here. Hope all is well. I just wanted to pop in. I got Wi-Fi here, so I thought I'd come in and give a little message. The stairs are kind of, they brush them. They're not going very aggressive on them for the people who know what I'm talking about there. But most of all, what I just want to do is I want to put on a shout out here to some people that have been commenting in ways that have really been making me pretty excited. Where they're really starting to understand that I've tapped in somehow, however I got that gift from just being able to track these guys, you know, and get that much of a connection. And because I've got that much of a connection, I share it with you guys, and you guys take it for however you want. And I'm not drawing it out on a chalkboard for you. You have to do your own thinking when it comes to it to some degrees. And I'm noticing that there are more and more people doing that. Just on a video just from 2 days back there or something, there's a comment that is after Debs. There's this one researcher called Debs something Bigfoot and stuff, and she commented on my message. Commented on the video, and there's another person on there. Her name has already slipped my mind. But anyways, she comments a very direct comment to Debs, and it's so much truthfully of what I'm kind of just here doing, and in a way feel like that's what my job has been. That's the job that's been placed upon me, is just to let people know that these beings are in overgrowth mode. There's too many or something. I can look at any videos going around the world, and I know I could hook up with anybody around the world and I could tap them into these beings. I have that much faith. I've never had that much faith in my life in any subject ever. Even on my own living as a human, I've never had so much faith in just knowing that I'm just a living human sort of thing. It's very confusing to me. Very confusing to you, and very confusing to a lot. But some people are getting it as much as I'm getting it. It's just a message that the force puts out, because these beings come along in footprints, whether it's going to be a footprint that many people chase, or it's a scratch print. I can get down into their scratch prints. And how I've done that is I've come from things that are almost as large as a footprint maybe. And that's the large cuts they actually do. Okay, they actually, to some extent, somebody has claws, and somebody does a lot of claw work in our forests, and we're just oblivious to it. But when they put on some shows for me and started to make it so I knew they were claws, then that claw mark made me realize you guys really exist. You really have a life. You really do have to be taking a poo. You really do have to be eating. You really do have to be drinking. And from there, it's just blowing into tons of information that I put out there for you guys under my Bigfoot titlings. And I encourage everybody just to look at it and try to get that same message that some people, and I find women get it a little bit easier than men. At least they're willing to share it with me easier than the men are. There are men out there who are saying, hey Ian, hey Tin Man, I'm seeing these marks over here. I live way down here in the States. I live way over here. I live in another country. And that's cool. And I'm just pointing out that more often I get women who are more, I think it's kind of that testosterone guy thing, you know. No, I want to be the top Bigfoot guy. I want to bring the famous pictures. I want to be the guy that's next to the guy who filmed Patty. And it's like, Patty's been done. That heroism, that great clip, whatever, that really got us, get so many people into it, has been done. That's showing something walking. That's showing that you can see and reflect that there's really something there. Now you look at that and you realize that that's not much different than a cow that has to poop, or a dog, or a human. And they're all pooping. That means they're all eating. That means there's signs out there of some sort. People get into all these structure things. I don't bother with the structures much. You know why? Those trees that you're looking across the way there, they all, to some degrees, have been adjusted by these beings also. And they're not able to tell us all these super beam me down signs, or that it's such a special spot. And that is the same reflection that I get with the structures and stuff. Real cool, no doubt. But once you get to the structures and you're able to get as much research you need to understand, don't just be fascinated by a structure anymore. Be fascinated by, where is that being that built this structure? How did he get here? Where's his poop? Where's his other print? Where, like this stick I'm looking at right now, do I think he could have broke that? Do I think he could have cut that? Just start walking in those little doorways and your mind gets to be blowing up way more than believing that you might be seeing something within shadows. That you might believe that Patty is real. You know, if you're stuck on you might believe, or you're thinking about thinking that Patty from 1964 is real, then get into some MK's Davis videos and breakdowns and stuff, and that guy gives you so many different breakdowns on that being, it gets printed into your head to realize, yeah, real. And so I mostly just wanted to come here. I'm going to show you guys this totem pole right here, because they're marking this totem pole. They're scuffing it. And I have a theory on totem poles. What do totem poles look like? They look like a bunch of animals piled on top of each other, don't they? Well, I know personally myself, and I know also that I've on YouTube, that other people have seen Squatches doing this type of a thing. We don't make it out this well, but they're doing this kind of a thing. And I believe that's where this has come from, along with totem, well, I call them Bigfoot totem piles. And so I call these Bigfoot totem poles when I believe they might be doing one in amongst some trees. Like, see that tree, say those trees, different trees right there. There is a chance that you could be coming here one day, evening, darker, whatever. Maybe even in that one in the middle back there now. I don't know. But there's a chance that you could come here and there could be a totem pile in there, a totem pole in there. So what I've been observing, you guys, is they have been marking up this pole. And what I think I'm noticing is they've cut in some design right here. So if we go back to our other one and look at that, it sure looks, I think you can zoom. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to feel it. Could it have been pencil? See, it's not pencil, it's their claw. So their claws, I don't know if they're able to take the edge of their claw and rub on things like this, but I've seen where there's actual cut and a rub black almost on it. So I've wondered many times what that rub is, that rub color change. This might be just rub color change from, like, I don't want to scuff the, whoops. See, there's, look at my nail just did that. And you seen I hardly touched it. Anyway, so what I first noticed here was this had been mucked with over this. They had started to rub this shellac protection off and leave this, and it looks like it's spreading Anyway, so a really good indication, I believe, that they've been back is right here. That one right there. Like, that's just so mischievous. You know, I didn't take a video of it the other day when I was here, and I actually think when I noticed it about a week or so back, there was a bolt. You can see the shadow of the rust mark of the bolt. There's a bolt sitting there, great big one. That's almost, yeah, that's about a 10-inch bolt or something. They can put that there, so we will think, well, some idiot is using that and scuffing up the thing. So what did I do? I got rid of the bolt. So they can't use that. And the day that I seen the bolt was the day that I seen this one. I've videotaped this guy and got him on very well. I talk a fair amount about, because there's no paint traced very deep into these. That means, because you can see the guy's willing to trace his paint into different things. That means I believe some of this was taken out. The crack was there, but I believe that not on this side though. Anyways, it's an option. That might be a fail there a bit, but it's an option. More marks and stuff, and most people who come up here, they're not doing what I'm doing. They're not really getting into having to touch them. But this is a real significant one right there, and I believe it's getting thicker, wider in the split. And this thing has only been put up here in recent months. It hasn't survived a year outside yet. But the guy would have carved it all. Oh, look at the belly of that. I did him a little in the dark, I think, maybe that night. So I can't say I know how much damage was there. But, and then sometimes when they're doing this cracking damage, whether they're doing it on asphalt, whether they're doing it on concrete, whether they're doing it on hydro poles, you know, it'd be very easy for them to just keep this crack going, crack, all the way. Split the thing all the way. Be very easy for them to do that. So that tells you something. That tells you a message about a wear and tear, almost symptomatic way about their nature. They can come into a mode where maybe one night a storm happens and they just decide, they think in that storm they can fool us and destroy a whole bunch of this section of this stairs. So they might choose to do that night. But generally they do it in a process like this where they're just picking away at it. Unless somebody's not noticing it too much, then I feel they might be able to go a little bit more aggressive on it and stuff. But what you see there, you guys, for that brightness that you're seeing, here's one of the newest little pecks that they did at it. And yeah, I was just gonna say that's them. And then you can see they work down on the tread part too. Where are we? There we go. Up on the treads. They leave the dust here. I mean, look at, they've brought and piled some of the dust around in different spots. This one right here, on one of my earlier videos, I talked about the moss clump on this one. So look at this one. This is a perfect example of, when you look at it, you would think, okay, I can zoom this back, can't I? Sorry about that. You'll think to yourself, yeah, somebody's mucking around with it. The two that I actually like was that one, and I like this one because this one was close to where I talked about. I think they had taken a little bit of the dirt from there and just mixed it in there just to, and that was a while back. Anybody want some white lightning? Alrighty, peace out. You know, and in this case here, don't on purpose look at these rocks much. Keep your face back from these rocks, and they will get carried away, and they've gotten carried away right here. See that? So they'll even leave the stuff not fully done. Look at that, how it's even got dirt in behind there. So that one's been cracked for either some time, or they sprinkle dirt. Like, I kid you not when I say they mimic and they fool. And they're wear and tear guys. Yeah, there's a little bit of work going on these rocks. Just not much, but let's see that one right there. You can kind of see it right on that corner there. And if you look at rock, most of the rock we think should be kind of splattered dirt from the rain to some extent. So that's kind of in a spot where it's so gross or close to the earth. You would think, how come there's not some, you know, how come this one's so dirty and that one's not? And this kind of dirt stuff, they spread. This kind of moss, they spread. This kind of moss, they spread. You know, if I went like this and get these spores or whatever on my hand, for real on my hand, and then I went over here and rubbed it on this rock and made sure I made good contact and all that, will those spores start to take hold? I believe so. And I believe that's how, in some cases, it's as easy as that for them. They're farmers, guys. I didn't say that on this video, but they do all the farming and they're taking care of much. At the end of the day, they're actually helping these guys. You know, to some extent, they're so ecologically, I almost want to say advanced, but it's not advanced, it's involved. They're advanced to us because we don't know as much as them. We think a tree is just a stupid thing that's a pain in the ass, but it gives us air and we can cut it down and burn it if we want, but we shouldn't cut them all down. That's how we kind of think of it about a tree. But a tree is hugely as important as any of the micro little guys that we're seeing here. And our new understanding is going to grow with this. I just want to say that. We don't really understand where we're living yet. You know, when we watch a Mars movie and you think to yourself, holy cow, you would just be there, you would know absolutely nothing, you know, the existence is fully just trying to start to figure it out. We're still in that state here hugely, and more so now. More so hugely, because we gotta, I'm like, once you start realizing how much they're related with the trees and you start to realize, okay, their tree design is much different than the natural, like 100 times difference. That's weird, but it's true. Once you start realizing that, then numbers start to be able to just kind of, the number, I can't imagine it. That's how big the number is. I can imagine into the millions. You know, we've been playing around with the million number a long enough time now where we can imagine into the 100,000s of people in a stadium. We can just picture that in our minds. You know, so there's an understanding with number that comes along with it. And I can't understand a number of like trillion. But I tell you, man, I know we got trillions of trees. And I say these guys are gardeners, so peace out from the Tin Man. Hope you guys hung around. Hope you get it. See what went on here. Thanks for coming out. Who do we got in here? Hey, we had Rob in here. I can't see my screen very good. And we got, I'm sorry, but I'll just read you right, Ian. It's going to happen for sure. Something is happening. And then we got Bigfoot, Memphis, I think. Thanks for coming out, brother. And then, okay, I'll read this one because I can read it, but notice changes in uncleared lots in my subdivision. Right on. Big tracks, yep. Don't even trust all those big tracks because they are such mimicker with tracks. I actually believe a lot of that stuff, even the ones that are big and 5-digited and stuff like that, can be in cases just them mucking around. In the unclear lot adjacent my own backyard, and I found nests and a 15-inch print. Wow, I welcome this knowledge. No harm ever. Cool, man. I appreciate you saying that. And that's what it is. It's just knowledge. This is that we, you know, brother, who was just there that we were just reading this one. My real big concern is now, a couple of them are, well, the biggest thing is human loss. there's human loss involved in here, and because of that, we can relate with it with all the missing people. We can, if you really delve into that, you can. Is it going to be real? 100%, we'll find out. So when it comes to human loss, then the destruction of some of our things, like they do asphalt damage, they do highways damage, they do concrete damage, they do bridge damage, they are cracking our concrete. I am construction background, even before I started in construction, because of how much I used to do with my dad and be involved in different things. We did demolitions of houses a couple of times where I actually got to help a bit and understand, you get what I'm saying. So I've been around a lot of stuff, naturally have a certain sense for it. And yes, go start just looking at your bridge, try to get as close as you can to the concrete foundation parts of it, and you start measuring the foundation. And when you start seeing white stuff like that coming out of it, that's a second concern. Those white things, I went up there and looked at them, you will see fracking lines. Whether it's calcium being pulled from concrete or not, we'll figure that out. But at the same time, I believe that white stuff, I've seen it, where a full rock, cracks go through the rocks, that white stuff's also coming out of the rock. So peace out from the Tin Man. Hope everybody's enjoying it. Thank you for the thumbs up, the supports, all that kind of stuff, and we'll talk soon.